Welcome, everybody, to the Jersey Shore Spirits podcast.
Hello.
I am Chuck.
And I'm Shannon, and we're joined today by
Mike Braun.
Yeah, you got to say your own name, man.
You gotta say your name.
Who do you think this is?
We don't get paid for this, so you're on your own.
Yeah, we don't get. Well,
We don't get paid.
we
for this.
get paid in the
it's
the camaraderie. You know,
we get paid in life.
We created these jobs so that we could spend time together. That's really what it comes down to.
The value of life.
Is there a value? No, I'm just kidding. That's a joke.
Oh,
Yeah, let's get real deep here.
The philosophy podcast.
Oh man, listen, we can go for a long time. Our podcast
Episode number
last
9
time was like episode 7 was pretty lengthy. That was a lengthy cast that we had. We talked about a lot of
when we had absolutely no agenda to talk.
But that's why
That was just us just bullshitting for the whole baseball thing was just thrown in there last minute. We weren't even planning on talking about that.
Well, we're gonna do it again today because we did make a few picks in terms of free agents for Major League Baseball. I don't want to talk about it just yet. Let's kind of kick off this show.
Because I don't know if we hit any of them.
Mike, we're gonna go to you. For those of you that do not know, Mike is one of our good friends and business partners here at Jersey Shore Spirits. Mike, let's hear your beautiful voice here, man.
Hi, everybody. I'm very happy to be on with you guys. I am a subscriber and a loyal follower to this podcast.
Ooh, I love it. You're already pimping it out. So
Boom.
like and subscribe on YouTube and Spotify. Let's get started with our show today. We've got our buddy Mike, and we've been waiting to have you on. I know this one's going to be probably like a 3-hour podcast. Before we get started, we've had a lot going on in Jersey Shore Spirits world with our distillery in terms of, really in terms of everything. Chuck, what do we have to share today?
Yeah, so it's moving forward. It's moving quick. Did we do the plumbing trenches before the last podcast?
No.
I feel like we didn't.
No,
right?
we did it like the next day.
Yeah, so right now it looks like trench warfare inside of the inside of our space. There is gigantic trenches everywhere, and they've dug them down to like 4 feet. So there's just piles of dirt everywhere. It looks like we're going to start a war. Built out a few small walls this week, ordered some new stuff this week. So a lot of stuff's moving forward. This week's actually a pretty big week. Our ductwork was done in the main tasting room this week. So that's kind of cool too. This week is, I believe the plumber is coming to actually put something in those gigantic trenches, which is awesome. I think we're getting some bigger walls that are going to be built this week. They built up the buttresses this week, so now we're looking at getting that mezzanine finally cleared out. The rest of it, I think that's going to start this week. So this is going to be a big week for us. I think it's going to be a busy week for us.
And I think every time I've gone there, really in the last week or so, I think I've been there maybe 2 or 3 times, and every time I've gone in, it looks different. So it's been cool seeing that concrete being cut. And then, it's dug a little more. It's like we got a moat, like we're going to have like a castle war or something, you know?
Yeah, for sure. The guys that cut the concrete, by the way, phenomenal job. At some point, we're probably going to have to talk about all of the contractors and give a few of them a shout out.
I mean, so far, everyone's done an amazing job. I mean, we knew that they would. We had been talking with a lot of these guys for a while. So I think it's been cool. Chuck, you're on the construction team with John. And with our business plan, we kind of put everything into different teams to just kind of attack the plan. So Chuck and John are the most knowledgeable in terms of the construction and the demo. And you guys have done a phenomenal job assembling that team to kind of execute the plan. But I think the one thing I love about it is we've done so much time in talking and looking at the plans and the blueprints that I think everyone who's doing work at the building now, they're not just here to do a job and go home. I think everyone's invested in it emotionally.
It's not even just that. I mean, I can't tell you how many people on a daily basis text me like, "Where are we at? What are we doing?" Like all our investors, all of our friends. I mean, so it's pretty cool. It's definitely cool to finally see that plan become something, like starting to become something. That's my favorite part of any project is when you take it from paper to actual. These guys are really killing it. Buddy is our, he's in charge of all of our construction.
Buddy.
I definitely want to get him to promote his company on here at some point because he's really killing it for us. He's doing a great job. He's making everything, like he really isn't one of those guys that you're just constantly arguing with or fighting with. He's just been so easy to work with. So I definitely want to give him some plugs.
Yeah, he's a proactive guy. We've got a lot of people involved. I mean, even along with the other things we're thinking with Greg Epstein, the Copper Dude.
Yeah.
He's on Instagram, Epstein Copper Designs, I think, or probably something else. But you can Google it, check it out. He's got some really cool things. We're looking to dress up our our space with him. We've had interior design. We've had a lot that we've had to discuss in order to relay some information to Buddy for construction, especially with our bar build out and things. So Melody is someone that we brought on board a long time ago to kind of focus on the interior design, and she's been along this ride for
A
really
long time.
its
Yeah.
inception.
Since the
I
beginning.
mean,
Almost the beginning,
she
yeah.
started doing design work before we were even able to get the design. So it's been nice with Mike, myself, and Jared to be on that crew with Melody. And I don't know anything about interior design. I just kind of know what I like, which I think is good.
Yeah.
You know, you don't want too many cooks in the kitchen.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm learning a lot about the process. Melody has been, I mean, she's super cool, number one. She's a really good person, but she's very knowledgeable. So I'm learning a lot through her and through the process. But what have we done with the design team, Mike? You're on that.
Yeah. So I think one of the most important things about having Melody is that you and I might see something and think it's kind of cool, but she has the eye for it that we don't have. And I don't know if it goes together the right way or if it's something that even makes any sense. And she's there to kind of counteract that and either say, yes, it's good, or you legitimately have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Which is fine. You know, I accept that. But yeah, we've been looking at colors for the bar and the cabinets. We spent a lot of time looking at the countertops that we're going to do. Obviously, between the two different bars, we want two different looks. So having one a little more casual, one coming across as a little more upscale is important. So I think we've hit that with some of our design, and I feel pretty good about what we're about to do with that.
And it's I've used this word a lot this week. It's terrifying, and I mean that in the best way possible. I mean, if you're not scared out of your pants right now, then there's something wrong with you. With the amount of money that's going into this project, the amount of time, the blood, sweat, and tears, and then we still have to get to the other side where we're open, we're working, we're doing all the things that we've been talking about for a few years. But even in this interior design conversation, I know I was texting you guys last night talking about likening that experience to the design of the room to what I'm wearing for the day. How am I going to tie it all together? And we can put together, Melody loves vision boards. Mm-hmm. We can put all these things together and splice these pictures. But at the end of the day, you're really not going to know what it looks like until it's done and you walk in through that door. So I think I can speak for all of us on the design team. The question comes up a lot. Oh, what does Chuck think about this? What does Eric think about this with the one piece of equipment we're getting? So, you know, having that trust within each other to execute the plan. But the worst thing that could happen is that we walk in day one and half you guys hate it. That would be the worst thing.
So I'm going to reiterate what I said last night, and I think I've said 150 times. I trust you guys, right? I trust you guys beyond this distillery. I trust you guys with my life right now. Like, so
I wouldn't do that, dude.
Might be a mistake.
So I'm not going to walk in and say I hate it. Like, it may not be something that I would necessarily have picked, right? That's definitely going to happen. That's going to happen to all of us.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean I don't trust that. Like, and when you say if you're not terrified right now, there's something wrong with you.
Yeah.
There's definitely something wrong with me.
Oh, absolutely. We know that.
Beyond this,
everyone knows
beyond
that.
This conversation, there's definitely something wrong with me. I'm not like, I have just this weird confidence about what's about to happen. I don't know. Like, it's almost like it's, you know, destiny coming together.
I feel that way. I'm with you on that. I feel very confident that this is going to come together in a beautiful way. I feel good about that. I'll slide closer so you can hear me. But yeah, no, I'm not as terrified as I should be. And I wonder about that sometimes. Why am I not more terrified? But I just believe in what we're doing. I believe in you guys, and I believe this is going to come together in a great way.
Yeah, I have a weird cockiness to me that I just think this is going to be unbelievable. Even when we were talking about like the teas last year, and everybody's like, oh, well, you know, we're not in competition with these guys. These are the big guys. And I'm like, well, F that. Why are we not? Like, they weren't always the big guys, right? They started somewhere. We're starting somewhere.
Yeah.
I do have the confidence of what we're going to do, what we're going to be in this state. And frankly, I think, you know, within a year or two, we're going to be talking about a national level product. I don't even think it's going to be a state thing anymore.
Yeah, I think that's good. I like those ideas, but I think that's where I'm absolutely the inversion of this all, where you guys are like thinking of the top of the line. We're going to take over the world. And I do agree that those things can happen. I'm more of like, oh man, like let me brace for the absolute worst case scenario. So then when it's not that, I'm going to feel so good.
See, now
I'm going to feel so great. I'm like a doomsday prepper.
Right.
I will prepare for the worst.
I don't even want to let that enter my mind that something negative could happen because I feel like when you start thinking about that and you put that negativity out there, then it becomes alive. I don't even want it to have any legs. There's no negativity, everything that we want, thinking about it positively. And then you see it and you make it happen. And that's what we're running towards right now.
Yeah. And I think I'll shoulder all that for you guys. I wouldn't say, let me be clear. I am not negative about this at all.
Right.
Not at all. I know what we're doing. I believe in our team. I believe in the vision. It's the execution part, right? We're a learning curve. And I think that the thing that I would say is I'm more cautiously optimistic, but it's perspective. And even in having that mindset for myself, I know, and as we all know from our previous ventures in life, you can't succeed unless you failed and failed and failed. And,
100%.
And I know that the perspective is worst case scenario at the end of the day. If this thing goes in a direction that we never saw coming, right? For the absolute worst, the bright side is that 7 dudes came together and chased a dream and did all the work. And then whatever happens after that, that's what happens after that. So I don't believe it's going to go that way, but in my warped mind, this is how I prepare for battle.
It's perfectly normal, probably.
Everyone's got
way,
their process. Right? Yeah, everyone's got
their
process.
I just don't have that. I don't know.
I think if you pulled the 7 of us, we'd all have different layers of where we are with that. And that's normal.
And let's be specific. Like, I've almost always run my own businesses for the most part, with the exception of one long-term job I've had in my lifetime, which you guys know what that is. I've almost always run my own businesses, and I've had failures for sure. I definitely have. My first bar was not necessarily the most successful thing. I think it could have been. I think we kind of jumped out of it too quick. We kind of gave up on it. My current business that produces my income has had its ups and downs, right? In the beginning, I frankly, the partners weren't really behind it so much to say. I think I've had the same vision for that business that I kind of do for this. Like, I had an idea of where it could go and still believe that's where it's going to go. And now it's finally starting to go there.
Yeah.
But it took a while to get them behind it. And we're still, kind of working out some kinks here and there. But I mean, that business for sure in the last 3 or so years and more, even last year, took on some new partners that are really believing in the business now. And you can see the difference. Like, you can definitely see how it's grown. I think these 7 guys believe in this. Fear is one thing. Everybody's going to have some kind of fear, I think. But I do believe that this is a little bit more like laser focused. We know where this is going to go. The hype behind it has been pretty great. So, I believe in this one.
Let's talk about the hype a little bit. And I'm glad that we have such a robust segment to talk about business updates because, in 2 years, when we come back and listen to these first 15, 20 episodes, we're gonna be like, who are these idiots?
And there's like a laser there's like a laser light show behind us during the podcast because we put some money into this thing at that point.
It could be a cat eating pizza floating in the universe. This week we did put together, or we had our marketing company 3B Dreams, really great guys. They put together a teaser video for us that featured Greg Epstein, our very own Eric and Jared Gaines were there in our distillery space. We have our Instagram up and running. Mike, do you remember the handle for our Instagram?
It is at Freehold Distilling Co.
Okay.
I believe.
That's on Instagram at Freehold Distilling Co. You can check out our first reel that was put up there by our marketing company. Last week, we stayed a little afterward during our meeting because we had a marketing company come out and did some interviews. We did some cool content.
I thought that was cool.
Yeah,
I thought I'm looking forward to seeing what that becomes because they definitely spent their time doing all of that. Like, they put some time into it.
I was thinking about, okay, how can we mash up every single person, like as if it's one person speaking, and what can we put in, interject the little funny clips that they said to just make it a cluster F of things that okay, what's happening here? But it was really cool. And I think for me, being able to sit there, I went last. I knew some people had some things to do. Plus, I figured if I go last, I can kind of not say what everyone else said, but I can make fun of someone in a subtle way, which is really my move. Yeah. It was nice to hear everyone speak openly about their vision or their work or their emotion, because the 7 of us, we get together at least once a week. Some of us see each other a little bit more. And, we talk about a lot of stuff, but we never get into the nitty gritty of what each person has emotionally attached to it, or the vision, the thoughts, the feelings that come with it. And I thought it was like a really cool, vulnerable spot for us where we can't say it to each other in an open forum at a table. But when we're talking to two dudes with cameras that we don't even know, we have no problem opening up about it. But for me, it was really cool to hear everyone else's story and attachment to it.
I think with us especially, and it even happened when they were filming us in our meeting, if we have a guy who's seriously interviewing us and we're giving legitimate answers and none of us are supposed to speak, we can actually get to that level. But as soon as we talk, we're looking to see what's my open spot to rip on you as fast as I possibly
can't tell you how badly I held my tongue through half of that interview.
Right?
I was like biting my lips so I didn't say
I was
shit.
writing notes on my paper, showing it to people like, oh, listen to this guy.
What was the question he asked? Something about what qualifies you guys to be.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely nothing.
I was like, absolutely fucking nothing.
Nothing does.
The funny thing is,
I couldn't even hold it back when he said it.
I said it in my head. I go, nothing really? And you're like, absolutely nothing. It's a perfect answer.
I just burst out laughing. I was like, there's no way I'm not going to say something.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's the way to go. I thought they had some really good questions. Everyone gave some great answers. I'm excited to see how that turns out. Before we move on to some other things to talk about today, in terms of our business, we do have a cool business opportunity that we have going on in Trenton in March. I think we might have mentioned it on the podcast before. I don't want to talk about the new development that we've explored lately with some of the opportunities. So I'm going to wait until that's set in stone and the ink has dried before we discuss it. But we do have Polar Bear Plunge coming up. Chuck, talk to us about it, man. How's our team looking?
February 28th. We're still waiting for a lot of people to sign up. Some of them are sitting at this table with me.
I'm doing my move where I wait until February 27th and then all of a sudden, man, something came up. Now, hang on. Hear me out. I went to the doctor. That's how it always goes. And he told me that I have a kidney stone.
And God bless you.
Hang on a sec. And that week, I'm having that, I forget what it's called, like a something lithotripsy. I forget what it's called. But they're doing like the shock waves into my kidney to break it up.
If it doesn't pass before then.
Yeah.
Well, I'm in a good spot where it's not big. It's not too big.
Yeah, so you'll probably pass it before then.
He told me if this one goes to pass or it moves, it's going to be a pain. So
yeah, we could talk about that separately because I've had this twice.
Well, this is what I'm saying.
It's horrific.
There's a chance that I might be so distraught after that procedure that I might not be able to make it to the plunge. But I'll be there.
Nobody listened to him.
In spirit.
Nobody listened to him.
How much fun did we have last year on the first one?
I don't remember.
You don't remember.
That's what I'm
exactly.
talking about.
That's the point. So I do actually need people to sign up soon, and there's reasons for that. One of them being I got to order T-shirts in like a week or two.
Oh yeah, yep.
So I need the team to start coming together. And last year I think we had 30-something people. Right now we have like 4.
All right, 4 people. Let's go.
So
do your thing.
and 90% of them have told me they're coming back. So that means I need everybody to start signing up for this team. And there's some other stuff that I need you to sign up for the team for too that I can't really speak of on here.
Ooh.
So sign up for the team. Jesus.
I'll do it today.
Yeah,
but today is not like today in real time. It's today when people listen to the podcast. So they can listen to it every day. And that's
sometime in the week.
Yeah. I will do that today.
I've had a slightly busy week, so it's on my mind. I'll get to it. I'll get it started.
I got to sign my girls up for it too.
So, Chuck, if anyone wants to join our team, we are the Freehold Distilling team this year, right?
We are the Freehold Distilling Company team.
Perfect. So if you'd like to join our team, support us, come out to Seaside, party with us, hang out, jump into the frozen cold ocean, get sand all over those toes.
Come to the after party.
Yeah, that's going to be a
Make sure you
good
put
time.
on your shoes after you get out of the
Make
ocean.
sure you put on your own
somebody
shoes.
else's.
Yes.
I lost my watch last year.
My feet grew.
I did, yeah. Lost my watch last year.
I remember that. Something happens every year. Losing a watch is like the most common thing.
I
we've
needed
ever
a
had
new
happen
one
at
anyway.
Polar
It's just a cheap Fitbit. But where can people sign up? Where should they go?
So it's njpolarplunge.org, I believe is the site. So make sure you're at the New Jersey Polar Plunge, Seaside Heights, benefiting Special Olympics. And then just click on join a team and then look up Freehold Distilling Company. And that's how you get to us.
And we'll post that in our social media posts.
Yeah, we put the link on last week. I'll put it on again this week too.
Perfect.
Yep.
All right, Polar Bear Plunge. Going to be a good time.
Can't wait.
Before we move into more of our conversation, I have a couple things to share. Today, I am wearing the Freehold Borough Records tie-dye. It's a greetings from Freehold, New Jersey, which is great, which is what we'll be saying pretty soon. But if you are into music, if you're into cool gadgets like CD players, I think there's like a cool cameras they're selling, turntables, and a great selection of music. You can check them out. They're in Freehold, New Jersey. They are 59 Throckmorton Street.
Do they do new turntables there, or is it just like
they have a couple there? I think they can order them for you too. I know the last I checked, I think they had like an Audio Technica one.
We should probably talk about that.
So we are going to reach out to you guys, and if you are interested in following them, they're a new Freehold business. You can check them out on Instagram. It's at Borough Records Freehold. Really good husband-wife couple. They have kind of reached out to our Instagram a little bit, but they have great music. They do a lot of cool pop punk from when I was a kid. They have a lot of coal mine records. Chuck, you would love their selection. It's all the Sacred Souls, Duran Jones, kind of neo soul that they have. So Borough Records, check them out. And speaking of music, last weekend we lost a titan. Mr. Bob Weir from the Grateful Dead passed away at age 78. Now, for anyone who knows me, there's two things you know about me. Number one, I'll take every chance I can to remind you that I'm from San Diego, California, which my friends were giving me crap for, asking how many times I'd say I'm a San Diego guy on the podcast. And number two, I'm a big Deadhead, big Grateful Dead guy. So
11 Toes isn't one of the things that we should know about you?
No. I'm working on my 12th and 13th as we speak. But Bob Weir passed away. It was a sad day. Bob Weir was an amazing rhythm guitar player, probably the best to ever do it. Amazing songwriter, singer. The guy toured his entire life. I was lucky enough to get into the Grateful Dead.
Right? Like right
his entire life, yeah. I think he started when he was 16, and his last show was August 3rd in San Francisco at the Grateful Dead 60th.
That's amazing.
And he just did so many things, man. I started seeing him in 2008. The guy that I worked for at the time saw that I was working a lot of overtime, knew I was into music, and he took me to go see Rat Dog at Radio City. And that was one of Bob Weir's side bands that was all Grateful Dead stuff. And from there, I was hooked. The next show was the band Further. That was with Bob Weir and Phil Lesh from the Grateful Dead, with an amazing cast of supporting musicians, including Joe Russo, the drummer. And that was kind of when I got on the bus, and I never looked back. Nice. There are so many moments in my life that Bob Weir and the Grateful Dead have become the soundtrack to. One of my favorite ones is seeing them in Asbury Park in June of 2014. It was the band Rat Dog with Bob Weir, and my daughter Scarlett, who is named after the song Scarlet Begonias by the Grateful Dead, had been born, a couple weeks before. So these bands don't always play the same songs every night. Their set list is different. Mm-hmm. So the odds of me getting a Scarlet Begonias were kind of slim, since that's more of like the poppier song. But guy launched right into it, and here I am showing pictures of my newborn daughter to anyone that will see.
That'll watch it.
Yeah. So
awesome.
it's a sad time to lose that guy. But if you ever get a chance, go on YouTube and check out some of his interviews and the way that he feels about life and death and everything in between. Super cool guy. So rest in peace, Bobby Weir. And to all my Deadheads out there, the music has never stopped. There are so many bands that are playing around the country. Right here in New Jersey, we've got the great Splintered Sunlight. We've got two of them that live in my neighborhood here in Jackson. They play all over the place. There's so many good bands. So make sure you get out there, support local music, support your local venues, and rest in peace, Bob.
So for the non-Deadheads out there, what is the one song you would say listen to that's a Bob Weir song?
That's great. I mean, I would say anything on his album Ace. That was his first solo record. And in 2022, I was lucky enough to go with my buddy Stu, who introduced me to the band. And we went to Radio City Music Hall. It was the 50th anniversary of that album. And we had floor seats, but this was the closest I had ever been. We snuck up in the second set. He had a whole cast of special guests. John Mayer closed the show out with him. Tyler Childers was there to sing. Brittany Spencer was there. So I would say anything on the album Ace. In particular, I would probably go with the song Cassidy, which is probably one of his more favorite tunes.
So check that out.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, I'm done crying about it. Last week or last show, we talked about baseball free agents. Mike, I'm glad you're here. Chuck and I talked about Kyle Tucker, overrated. Bo Bichette, definitely overrated. Cody Bellinger and Framber Valdez. Now, Kyle Tucker signed.
I think for all their money, by the way, all four of them are pretty overrated.
Absolutely.
For what they're all going to make. Maybe, I don't know about Framber Valdez.
Kyle Tucker signed. I had him going to the Cubs. Chuck, you had him going to the Blue Jays.
Blue Jays.
Where did he end up?
Not the Mets. He went to the Dodgers.
The Dodgers.
The Dodgers. They gave him a 4-year, $240 million deal.
The Blue Jays offered him a pretty nice contract too.
They were giving him a
10-year, $350.
So we were both wrong on that one. That's the one, because that's how long it took to get it
It
going.
did take a long time.
We had Bo Bichette. I had Bichette staying with the Blue Jays, and Chuck, you had them going to the Yankees. And Mike, where did he end up?
Well, I would have had him going back to the Blue Jays too, but he's now with my team, the New York Mets, which is confusing to me.
Desperation signing.
It's absolutely
It was a desperation sign.
confusing to me because the general manager, David Stearns, came out and said, it's all about defense. We want to do our defensive metrics and play D, and we're not going to give all this money to some of these guys. And he goes and gives money to Bo Bichette to play out of position and moves their third baseman potentially to first base to play out of position, or it's going to be Polanco playing first base, who's never played first base before. So I have no idea what this team is doing.
I don't understand the general manager either. Like,
Yeah.
His whole big thing was we want to improve the defense, have great defense,
Yeah.
and then he hires a substandard defense shortstop to play third base.
Play third.
Now,
It
Mike,
makes no sense.
as a Mets fan, and since I've known you, I think we've always connected over baseball, especially, sports in general, but baseball for sure.
Yeah.
It's not every day you meet a San Diego Padres fan, right?
The day I actually met you, you were walking down the street, all San Diego Padres, brown and gold. And I literally stopped and said, "Are you really a Padres fan? Like, what are you doing here?"
I just like the
And then,
colors.
and then Mike hit him with his car.
Yeah. Oops. That's how I became terrified of everything. No wonder.
Yeah.
Now, Mike, as a Mets fan,
Yeah.
I've seen you in your state of frustration,
Yeah.
and I've seen you that, Juan Soto hits a single and we're going to the World Series, right? That's how Mets fans are.
That's it's
But
all or nothing.
how are you feeling about the outlook of this team coming into the 2026 season?
Very interesting question. As a diehard Mets fan, my entire life I've ridden the wave. I've stayed with them. I believe in what they're doing. I believe in their vision. And for the first time in my entire life, I have no idea what's going on. I'm angry at them. I don't want to go to a game. I'm willing to go down to Baltimore to watch Pete Alonso. How do you not bring Pete Alonso back? I just don't understand what they're doing. So I'm very frustrated, Shannon. And I'm not thrilled with what they're doing right now. Even, when they said, if they bring in Tucker and Bellinger, that'll make up for losing Pete and Nimmo. And I don't feel it. I don't like building your team with a ton of free agents. I like bringing your guys up from the minors. And you had two homegrown guys that you just
one of which will
threw out.
Be their home run leader, right? Like he beat it last year.
He just became the home run king. He's done everything right as a New York Met.
That's going to be one that bites, that they're going to feel bad.
Big time. And he claims to be a Mets fan as a GM. If you were, you'd have a pulse on.
There's some weird thing between him and Pete Alonso. I don't know what it was, but he did.
Like
they made it. I mean, they really didn't treat the guy very well. They made it clear they didn't want him.
To turn around and offer Tucker, a much lesser player, all that money, and Bichette even more money. It makes no sense to me.
I think what Shannon said is probably true right now. I think they're in a desperation mode. They're worried now about keeping their fan base.
They got to sell tickets
and doing something. I think they're actually going to get Cody Bellinger now, and I think they're going to overpay the hell out of him.
Probably.
Because anybody that wants Cody Bellinger, the Yankees have already offered him a 5-year deal, so you're going to need to go 7 years.
That's crazy.
Something
for him.
pretty,
7 years on him.
And I just
don't like to go beyond 3
I
or
would
4.
love to just see him. I don't even want to give him 5 years, frankly. I'm very worried about next year being a down year for him because he is very up and down, and last year was such a good year for him.
Yes.
And he, like I said, the 1 year he was MVP, the next year he was almost out of baseball. He was that bad.
Yeah.
So I do worried about a long-term contract with him.
Yes.
Look, I think he's a great player. I want him back, but I want him back at a price. And I think the Yankees, this is the first time that they're holding steady on something that I'm kind of happy they're holding steady on. Don't go 7 years with him.
It's not going to pan out that way.
It's going to be, he's getting 7 years somewhere. I still think the Giants are pretty good.
You do have the Giants on there. Now, for Bellinger, I chose the Mets because I thought, okay, they're going to have another desperation signing.
I'm starting to believe that that's where it's going.
Mike, before we dig a little further into this, I feel like I mean, we could talk baseball for a whole other podcast, but Cody Bellinger, who's he playing for in 2026?
I think he's going to stay with the Yankees.
Okay. Wow, look at that.
I remember him saying how he wanted to be a Yankee because his dad played for the Yankees
His dad,
back in the day.
Clay Bellinger.
Right? And I think that was important to him. I don't know if a 1-year deal with the Yankees was what he meant. So let's
put the Scott Boras factor into this.
Yes.
Scott Boras is an agent. I think he would have actually not opted out of that contract if Scott Boras wasn't his agent, because I think he was happy being there. Like, all signs point to he loved being on the team. He fit in well. He was a good clubhouse. Like, all signs fit well with being with the Yankees. But Scott Boras wants him to get 7 years, and he's going to get it somewhere.
That's the
and then
Boras
he's going to have to
factor.
decide, like, hey, do I want 7 years or do I want to be happy?
Right?
You know?
You have to think every GM has to know that he's versatile. You can move him all around. He's got pop. He's got speed, but he also has that horrible downside where he might hit 100 for you.
The downside scares me for sure, like, no doubt. But where the Mets are going to get desperate is who's hitting behind Soto.
Well, I mean, I think getting Bichette in there, I was going to come back to that.
I think Bichette's going to be leading off.
I think that you got to, I mean, even if he's leading off, then who does that bump up to hit behind Soto? Right. Where's Lindor right now? 2?
Lindor would be 2, Soto's 3 in that case. If Bichette leads off, you need somebody behind him, and they don't have it. I mean,
I don't think Lindor is consistent enough to hit behind Soto that that he would put any fear into anybody. But who else is out there even to?
Is Polanco striking fear? You're going to choose to pitch to Polanco over Soto every
His
time.
contract might be striking fear. I don't think he
and
is
that's where I think the desperation for Cody Bellinger is going to come in.
Now, you mentioned that Cody Bellinger's dad played for the Yankees.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that. But earlier this week, the Yankees made a trade for the lefty, Ryan Weathers. And for those of you that don't know a lot about Ryan Weathers, he came up with my San Diego Padres. He was a pretty solid left-handed kid.
Didn't his dad come from the Padres too?
He played for the Yankees.
Yeah,
but didn't they get him from the Padres?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Ryan Weathers is a guy that I always was rooting for. His mom is a little wild on Twitter. So if you, it's not called Twitter anymore, but I do not acknowledge it. His mom's a little bit of a chatty Cathy. She's louder out there.
Okay.
I liked Ryan Weathers, but he completely crumbled in the 2020 playoffs for the Pods. He couldn't get a guy out. He developed a little more with
how
Miami.
young was he then, though?
Yeah, I mean, he was just coming up to the bigs.
He's not an ace. Like, he's not a top of the rotation guy, but he probably is a solid 3-4.
I think he's going to be a good innings eater. I think if he can figure it out and handle that New York
and I still
pressure,
wonder if the thing is to bring him into the bullpen too.
And he would thrive there.
That's
I really
where,
do.
That's where Brian Cashman has always done a good job is finding guys that aren't bullpen guys and making them bullpen guys.
Yeah.
The Yankees, with the exception of last year, and last year was interesting, have always had a good bullpen.
Yeah.
The bullpen crumbled last year, but
let's get to our final pick here. Again, we're spending a lot of time on baseball. Sorry,
who was our final
for
pick?
the booze.
Nothing wrong with that.
So the last one was Framber Valdez. I had him going to the Padres on a short deal. You chose the Mets, Chuck. Mike, what do you think about Valdez? Where's he going to end up?
I think he's going to be the number 1 starter for the Mets also.
Okay.
I think they have to.
If
there's one move that they should be doing, that's the one.
I mean, Suarez going to Boston changes that. The Mets now need him. Unless they pull off a trade for Freddie Peralta, which is a possibility.
Which is possible, but then they're going to lose 2 of their bright young starters that are coming up.
Yeah.
So.
They're going to lose somebody. Maybe Brett Beatty.
Well, it's getting into February. We've got a lot of free agents still out there on the board.
And we never picked Bregman in our picks.
We didn't.
Which is interesting because I completely forgot that he was even a free agent.
Would you have had the Cubs?
So,
I would not have had the Cubs for him, though. I would actually had him going back to the Red Sox.
The Bregman drama is, I don't know if you guys watched that Netflix baseball documentary on like the clubhouse with the Red Sox.
I did not.
No.
I won't watch anything from the Red Sox.
I would love to see one. Well, it's cool. It's almost like a Hard Knocks, but just for the Red Sox team. So anything baseball, I'll watch. Even if I hate the Yankees, I would still watch it. The drama in Boston, in which they trade Rafi Devers in the beginning of the season to accommodate, so just to accommodate Bregman, and now you don't even have him.
That's hysterical.
That guy needs to be held accountable. That is a complete mismanagement. Not only did you trade the face of your franchise, you couldn't make another guy the face of your franchise because they played chicken. They did not believe that he had a higher offer out there.
Yeah. Well,
and that's the business. That's the business of baseball.
Made Chuck happy.
I was thinking last week, and Chuck, I texted you because I was so excited about it. We talk about a lot of music here on this podcast, and Mike, we're going to get to you in a second. But there was a cool question that I thought of because I don't know what I was doing. Maybe I was folding clothes or hanging dress shirts. I was doing something in the house that was just super routine.
Something fun.
I didn't have TV on. Sometimes I get in that space, and I'm sure you guys understand where there's so much going on in your brain that it's like a silent drive home, or you're just doing something in solitude. So I was thinking, man, I would love to hear this song again for the first time. And my question for you guys is, if you could pick any one song, which might be difficult,
it's gonna be so difficult
to hear for the first time again, what would it be? I have mine already. It's been in my head since I texted you, Chuck.
So is this in the context of it's a new band that we're hearing for the first time, or just any song?
Just
like,
any
heard it before,
song
hear it
that
again?
you didn't hear,
Okay.
like one that would be like, oh my God, this song is amazing. Like this is like just to experience that for the first time, like going on a ride for the first time.
This is gonna be so hard. Like I probably have 5 of them that I could easily. And I don't want to be like the obvious, like, oh, pick a Bruce Springsteen song. But there's some Bruce Springsteen songs that if I could hear for the first time, it's pretty cool.
Okay.
And it wouldn't even be the obvious ones. It would be like some of the like Incident on 57th Street. Love that song. New York City Serenade. Love that. Like if I heard them for the first time, it's like, wow.
Pink Cadillac.
Amazing.
That would be one for me. That one's
Cadillac.
That one's a bopper.
One song. I don't know. Maybe like Paradise by the Dashboard Lights, Meatloaf. Like hearing that for the first time.
Something like that's an experience. That's not just
it
a
was
song.
Like
you're on a journey.
Holy S. Yeah. Like that was cool. And I was really young the first time I heard that, obviously. I don't know. There's probably like at least 5 or 10 songs that if I heard them for the first time, I'd be like, this is amazing. And we talked about this in the context of movies too, right? Like there's movies or TV shows that if I saw for the first time, I'd be like, wow. Like I wish I could see The Sopranos again for the first, like through first time eyes.
Yeah.
Because that's just such an amazing show.
Mike, do you have one, or do you want me to share mine?
I've got a bunch. Like Chuck said, that's a very difficult question because there's so many great songs. And I have to tell you, you can actually kind of experience that. One of my things that I like to do when I just have that downtime, it's late at night, I don't want to watch a show, but I want to unwind. Go on YouTube and look up people reacting to songs they're hearing for the first time.
I've watched that actually. It's pretty
Those
cool.
are fun. Those are cool.
It is pretty cool.
And when you see somebody who just listens to like rap and hip hop and they're discovering rock music and they listen to
their eyes like explode when they hear it.
Yeah, and one
I
of
think
the biggest
Meatloaf
ones,
was one of the ones that I saw one time.
That's one. Pearl Jam's "Black" is one of those songs where you hit that deeper meaning. And "Sound of Silence" by Disturbed. When they listen to that one for the first time, their minds are blown, and it's fun to see somebody else experience your music for the first time in that regard.
I think my issue with some of those videos is, and especially some of the songs that are on there, and Chuck, we've talked about the Drumeo stuff where drummers are hearing those songs for the first
really
time.
Cool. Yeah.
It's the same idea.
Yeah.
But my whole thing is like, how did you not? Like you're
some
telling
of them
me
I think
in 2026 you haven't heard of Radiohead?
Right.
You've never heard the song Creep? Like what rock are you living under?
I mean, you can go to ShopRite and hear that. It's
right.
It's everywhere.
Classic rock landscape has changed as we've gotten older. Now Green Day's on classic rock, which is insane.
It's in the elevator when I
the song that I was thinking about, which is not a song you'd probably think I would be thinking about, "The Sign" by Ace of Base.
Oh God, really?
Because, and here's the thing.
Oh, please help me through this segment.
There are so many things going on in that song, from the production value to the synthesizers to the melodies, the key change. There's just so much going on that I'm like, wow, imagine hearing that song for the first time and just saying, what the heck just happened to me? Like, what did I just hear? And I feel like
the reaction.
And I think that
that would be my reaction too.
a lot of the pop music that I hear, because I drive my kids to school every day, so I always put on like Hits One or whatever they listen to. But a lot of it's very, as it's always been, cookie cutter, verse, chorus, bridge, chorus, and it's very like, okay, we're on an even plane, and we're just drilling this melody into your head to push sales, push streams. But if you take it back to the 90s, a band like Ace of Base, how do those thoughts even enter your mind in terms of, okay, let's put a saxophone here, or let's get like a weird who thinks to do that?
They're Swedish, right?
There's something.
I think so.
They're amazing.
They're like the new ABBA.
Yeah.
That's actually a good way to put it. I didn't think of it that way.
Yeah. When you say Ace of Base, it makes me, I'm gonna dive into a deep one here. You'll remember this. There is a song called "Heart and Soul" by Tapao.
Tapao.
You remember that?
Yes, I did.
That would be
it's actually on my playlist.
Yeah, it's a great song. And that's one to hear for the first time because it's different. It's a little unusual. Little mellow for me.
I would say I would put that, and I like that song more than I like an Ace of Base song. But
hey, now, come on.
I would put it on that level of like the pop kind of.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, and it could just be that maybe I'm having like an Ace of Base reprise in my brain. I mean, when Colleen was pregnant with baby 2, All That She Wants Is Another Baby was the song that I would sing a lot around her. And I can tell you that is, you know, but then I think about it too, like, you know, that song came out when I was a kid. I mean, I'm probably not even 10 years old when that song comes out, and I'm going to school singing All That She Wants Is Another Baby.
I think I was graduating college.
Oh, wow.
There's a little
Hey there.
age gap.
I got to check the date, but I was definitely...
I think I was unconscious from putting my head through a wall from hearing that song. So.
Well, if anyone out there loves Ace of Base as much as I do, please connect with me. We'll start an Ace of Base tribute band. I got some connections.
Hope somebody connects with you.
Imagine that, dude.
Somebody reach out to Shannon.
You know that
I want to see
Ian
that
will play
happen.
drums for it. Ian will play drums for it. I know
He
will.
played Dancing Queen one time for Ryan at a gig.
Yeah, see, Ian's in.
Ab is back in style, though. You know?
Yeah, I think so.
You know,
From
the
like
high
the Mamma Mia movie.
Yeah,
and the
well,
play
Mamma Mia,
and-
definitely.
The high school's doing Mamma Mia in the spring.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right.
Maybe they'll sing Ace of Base at the end for you, Sean.
One more thing, Mike. I was thinking about you on Friday night, not only because you have nice calves, but I was watching the movie, and I meant to text you, Chuck. I watched the movie Song Sung Blue.
It's on my list. It's on
How
my
was that?
list.
I heard it's good.
So I didn't know too much about the movie going into it. I just knew it was Neil Diamond related, and I was looking just to watch
it's just
something
they're
different.
like a Neil Diamond cover band, right?
Yes.
It's not about Neil Diamond.
Right. So I didn't know this.
Yeah.
And first of all, I can't believe I know this many Neil Diamond songs.
Dude had so many hits.
I know
It's one of
so
those
many
surprising
Neil
ones, yeah.
Diamond tunes. I cannot believe that I am not like, you know, Neil Diamond tattoo or something. I can't believe it. I know so many of his songs.
Diamonds in the Rough.
Don't make me do it. We can't have that on recording. But anyways, Mike, I'm watching this movie.
Yeah.
And I don't want to give anything away, but this movie was not what I was looking for. Great movie, just not where I wanted to be
Okay.
on a Friday night.
All right.
But there is a point where they play this festival
Mhm.
and Pearl Jam is there,
Right.
and Eddie Vedder comes out and is singing a song with them. The guy that they cast to play Eddie Vedder was like a skinny Maui from Moana. Like, he did not look like Eddie Vedder at
Right,
all. Horrible casting. But I was thinking about you because I know Pearl Jam
Love Pearl Jam.
is one of your favorite bands. I love giving you crap about it every time they have like the Pearl Jam memes
You
where
and 20 other people.
they
for
have
some
like the
reason.
lyrics that are not the lyrics, but and then also last week I was going through like pay-per-views on our TV box that we have, Chuck, and there was one like amateur professional wrestling thing from like Poughkeepsie. So I was like, you know what? Let me put this on. And there's a wrestler who dresses up like a grunge guy, and his name is Stephen Flo.
Yes, I saw that.
His name is Stephen Flo.
That is
So-
the most awesome thing ever.
Isn't his theme song just saying Stephen Flo
Yeah.
over and over?
And he wears
over
like
again
a
to
flannel
even
tied
flow?
around his waist. But
Yeah.
Mike, you know, I'm fascinated with music, as is Chuck, and
Yep.
you know, everyone knows what we love in terms
Sure.
of music and why. Chuck's a big Bruce guy
Mhm.
with the North Jersey life. I'm a big Dead guy just for the connection. But you're a Pearl Jam dude. What has, you know, connected you or hooked you with that band?
The Rain.
So there's actually a lot. Before I was even into Pearl Jam, I didn't listen to a lot of rock music, believe it or not. When I grew up, pop music. So first of all, but I loved Prince, which was
Okay.
not cool back then to like Prince. You know, Prince is now thought of as one of the greatest guitar players ever, just a great talent.
Yeah.
And I liked him when it was just weird, and so be it. But I also liked, I was into Run DMC and LL Cool J and a lot of old school rap. And when I got to college, some of my roommates had different tastes in music. And so I started getting into, my friend Timmy got me into the Doors. Bill got me into Nirvana and really started getting me into the grunge scene. And I remember being at like Thursday night parties, and this one song kept coming on. I go, wait, what is the name of this song again? And I'd ask a couple of my friends that were really into it, and they were like, this is Alive by Pearl Jam. I just love that opening riff for
It's a good guitar
that
riff in the beginning.
song. And I was like, I love this. And it made me explore them more. And I thought that first album was insane. I bought every one of their first 5 albums on opening day. So their album called Verses was actually called 5 Against 1 first. And I have a cassette that's called 5 Against 1. And I just put that away because that's not the name of
Because you
that
don't have a
album
cassette player anymore.
So that's like
Also,
That's why you put it
you
away.
can buy one at Burrow Records in Freehold.
I go to Burrow Records
there's one
and
up-
buy an adapter.
there's one up there if you wanna
for my
play it.
car.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just got into them, and I thought the lyrics. So I know the joke is you can't understand what he's talking about.
Well, that's not a joke. It's you can.
It's a fact. It's not a joke.
But once you do, his lyrics are insane. They're very deep and very, very metaphorical. And
this explains Mike's texts.
yeah, the way Eddie Vedder sings. You have no idea what I'm talking about, and I like it that way. So,
so do we.
There's that meme out there that says, "Listen, I'll put the words out there. It's up to you to interpret it. I'm not apologizing for anything." And that's how I text you guys. It is what it is.
So with Eddie Vedder, last year the MLB kind of put in this like city rivalry thing that where the AL team and NL team would play each other, and the Padres and the Mariners have always had what they call the Vedder Cup. That's been going on for years, even just with the fans, because Eddie Vedder is from Seattle. He did spend some time in San Diego when he was younger. But then the kicker is he's not a Mariners or Padres fan.
Oh, he's a Cubs.
He's a Cubs fan.
Is he really?
He's a Cubs fan.
He's from Chicago. So he's from Chicago, moved out to San Diego. I know way too much. And then wound up moving up to start Pearl Jam. Moved up to Seattle. Yeah.
You don't, but you're a fan. You should. These are things you probably would know if you're a pretty good
What
fan.
else do you know about him? What's his favorite Teletubby?
The red one. He loves the red Teletubby.
Very nice. Very cool.
But yeah, no.
I had another question I wanted to ask you about Pearl Jam, but I do not remember what it was. Not even a question. Okay. When you brought up that song Alive, I remember when I was in high school, I was in a guitar club. Shout out Mr. Peppy. I know you're still out there. That's my guy. Nice. We performed for like the talent show. We did like a whole concert and we played the song Alive. So that was one of the first times I had heard it because I didn't really listen to Pearl Jam ever, even growing up in California. I know my sister was really into
you were
them.
a punk guy when you were younger, right?
Punk, metal.
Yeah.
So when we were doing this song for the guitar club, I was like, dude, this song sucks. Like, I'm not alive. I'm going to die having to play this song.
That opening guitar riff is pretty cool.
It's so good. But now that I'm older, I think, and, because you're my buddy, I want to listen to things that you appreciate, try to give it a chance.
Yeah,
and I've definitely come into them a little more. And even when we've been driving around, when we've done some things for business or with work and you have it on, I try not to judge too much. So thank you for presenting the counter argument for my reasons to not like Pearl Jam. And I can say that I still don't like them, but I don't hate them. I'm still working on it.
That's the thing about music, like I'm not a Dead fan. I tried and it's not for me, but it doesn't have to be for me.
Right.
That's for you. And I appreciate that completely. I've got some other friends who are Deadheads, but you try and listen to other people's music and that's how you learn to like them. Like I said, my friend Tim loved the Doors and I wasn't into the Doors and I have a different respect for the Doors. Same with Guns N' Roses. When they first came out with Welcome to the Jungle, I didn't like that song.
Was life-changing for me when Welcome to the Jungle. I loved that album.
I don't know why. I didn't like it, but I love
because you know what it
Guns
was?
N'
Everything
Roses.
before that was like pop.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. Like was super pop. And then these guys came out like because it was all like hair bands.
All hair bands.
Right. And then these guys came out and they were like,
that.
we don't give a shit what we look like. Like we're just like drug addicts that are strung out and we're just going to play hardcore hard rock. I loved it.
They were the tipping point that changed.
Yeah.
From
they
the
changed
hair
a lot of
bands.
stuff.
So
sure.
I have an appreciation.
It's a shame what happened to them.
I saw them 2 summers ago. And it was not the same. When I saw them in like 91 for the first time in Soundgarden open, you want to talk about a great concert, but seeing them 2 summers ago, it was sad. Like Slash was incredible.
Yeah, Axl became a lunch lady.
Axl looks like somebody's grandma, and he just couldn't sing. He just stopped sometimes and bopped up and down.
I mean, he was like
done.
operatically trained to sing. Like that's like he really did.
November Rain is like
it's amazing.
One of the greatest songs of all time.
Yeah. Amazing.
Beautiful song.
Do you remember Buckethead?
Yes.
Buckethead, right? He was the guitar player. Didn't he wear like a KFC bucket on his head?
Yep.
That's why they called him Buckethead. He like filled in for Slash, I guess, when Slash was out.
Okay.
And now he kind of does his own thing. I've seen him play like I didn't see him personally, but he had been billed at like Starland Ballroom. Like he played at the Pony once, so he's still doing his thing. Almost like a John 5 kind of deal with Motley Crue, where he's like stepped in and handled guitars.
Well, that's a different situation though. Ace Frehley is basically his body has frozen itself together. He's got that disease where his bones all fuse together.
Mick Mars.
Mick Mars, sorry.
Mick Mars.
Yeah.
Come on, he's the spaceman. He's supposed to be, he was always like the alien, the Martian. That's what they always called him.
Mick Mars, sorry.
I know that you're a big Motley Crue guy, Chuck. Aren't they torn? Didn't they?
I love Motley Crue, actually.
I
love the old Motley Crue. Again, the same thing happened to Vince Neil that happened to...
I like Big Vince. Even those videos of him singing with the lyrics that are not... those are so good.
They are good.
I love the internet and I hate it at the same time.
But yeah, no, I was a big Motley Crue guy back then.
I like Motley Crue. I was never a big, you know, all their songs. You just know everything by Motley Crue because they're so big.
Of the hair band groups, they were like,
they were
to me, the best one.
They were the biggest.
I was thinking of you last week, Chuck. I had band practice with my band at Jam Room in Howell, and there was a band next to us that was playing Rock You Like a Hurricane. And I was like,
Scorpions?
man, I need Chuck here with a bottle of bourbon just to hit that note, hit that high note.
The German guy?
Yeah. Speaking of high notes, you know, Mike, you've always had the front seat to Chuck and I working some catering events and maybe dipping into the bottle a little bit and singing. I want to spend a little time talking about you, dude, because I mean, Chuck and I know you, but for anyone who's listening,
we do.
You know, if you're friends with Mike, I'm sure you know who he is. But Mike's got some personality, man. You have a lot of experience, so you know, you're involved in this Jersey Shore spirits business. I guess my question for you, which is one I always get from other distillery owners when we talk about it, is why? Why do you want to do that?
That was the most existential question.
That's
ever.
What we get. Like,
see you guys in 20 minutes. I'm gonna get a drink while we talk about it.
Anytime you talk to someone who's into distillery, they're like, well, why do you want to do it? This industry's tough.
Yeah.
Right? Like, what is it that draws you to it?
Yeah. Well, I think, again, this goes back to our earlier conversation, is my outlook is never looking at that downside. I mean, I don't mind putting my nose to the grindstone and doing the work. That doesn't bother me. And I look at where it's going to wind up. Just the idea that for people to walk in the door of our distillery and have a good time and knowing that I'm part of the reason that they're having such a fun time is worth it to me. It's worth all the work you put into it. And even now when people contact me and go, hey, I tried your teas, they send me a picture of it on you know, through Messenger or text, or they do the same thing with the bourbon. Go, yeah, I just bought my, I just got a text the other day from my friend Rick. Rick was like, I bought somebody I work with in Pennsylvania a bottle of the bourbon. He loves it. Can he get some out there? And I had to explain to him that we're just in New Jersey for now, but just to hear all these different people. My friend Adam bought it for his brother-in-law, and his brother-in-law was like, this is fantastic. When you get that feedback, I feed off of that positive feedback. And I think we're going to have so much positive feedback once we're open and people are there. And I know it's a lot of work to get it done, but anything that's worth it is worth the effort, you know? And really it's not just the destination of getting there and getting it open. This journey to getting it open, it's been so much fun doing all the things we've done, taking the ride a couple weeks ago together, being in the car. And, you know, when we went up to sign all the papers and we were in the car for an hour and a half and
Mike drove around the parking lot
and
missed
all the turns.
Just so, you know, I like to enjoy.
What about that spot? What about that spot? What about that spot?
I think we got to go further from the door.
12-degree weather is nice to experience for a long walk. That's all. But yeah, I want to put something wonderful out there.
Now, in terms of being a customer, and I think we're all consumers, you know, at every level, but I know I didn't start dipping into the spirit world. I mean, I did a little bit, but once I met Chuck, I had a little more information about how to dip into spirits. And then we've all kind of been in this process together. But, you know, Mike, we've always talked about trying different beers and what you do like. And you've tried some IPAs for me and tried to give it a shot. But what is it that you like about the world of spirits? Do you have a favorite spirit? Do you have a favorite cocktail? What are you into?
I'm a bourbon guy. And I'll say, you know, I started out with different beers. Like I was more of a beer guy. Don't like IPAs, although I will do the hazy between you and Mike Xavier.
Mikey
gets a
X.
second mention on the podcast. And by the way, his boat is called Even Flow. Just wanted to throw that in.
The
there.
mayor of Icarus has a boat called Even Flow.
You guys and Mike Penn, you're all IPA guys. You love your IPAs and you get me to try them. And the hazy IPA I can handle. Yeah. So that's a win for you, right?
Take it.
And it's a win for me because I get to try them, you know. But I like Jack Daniels. Jack and Coke was a drink that was my go-to for a while. And then once I got to know Chuck,
I've been making faces this whole time that you guys are describing stuff.
Bourbon neat. That's it. Right?
Jack Daniels.
I like Jack Daniels.
And then, it's charming.
Yeah. But then I've moved on from that. I like a bourbon neat now. that's my go-to. And
they've all learned. Let me just say one thing.
They've all learned.
I pray that your livers hold up, because I'm going to feel like shit if they don't.
Thanks a lot, dude. Cirrhosis.
There's
Here
going
we
to be
come.
a day when I'm like, oh, motherfucker, I got to give up my liver now.
Chuck, how do you feel about Jack Daniels?
It's wonderful. As a company, I think it's awesome. I think it's a great story. I'm not a fan. It's too sweet for me. I'm just not a fan of the sour mashes for the most part. I mean, I may have had one or two that I've liked, and there's not a ton of them out there. Jack Daniels definitely leads the way in that. And I think it's a lot of it's marketing too, with Jack Daniels. But I do get, like, look, when I was in the 21 range, or maybe even younger, it was you had the Jack and Coke guys, and you had the Captain and Coke guys.
I was the Jack and Coke guy.
I was the Captain and Coke guy.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow!
I liked Captain Morgan back then.
Nah.
I'm going to use this for ammo at some point.
Nah.
Do you do the little pose? There you go. Before we move on a little more with you, Mike, I wanted to ask you guys. I don't think we discussed this yet, and I keep touching your arm, man. Sorry, we always do
I
that
like
anyway.
it.
Right now,
Okay.
Jim Beam. Did you guys read the news about Jim Beam?
Yeah, they are stalling production for a while.
Yeah, they're shutting down. Well, it sounds like they're consolidating their production.
Well, so I've talked to some people that I know that are a little bit more on the inside, and from what I'm hearing, the bigger bourbon guys are a little worried about the small craft bourbon guys and how that market is doing a lot better than the bigger guys are.
Right, as it should.
So what they want to do is kind of shift their focus on their big brands, move everything to small craft brands. They're not really craft, but they're going to call them craft brands, and come out with a bunch of craft stuff. Whether or not that happens, we'll see. But Buffalo Trace has 1,000 different brands out there, right?
Right.
And they've moved into more of they've actually done the opposite, right? They even took Eagle Rare, which I loved Eagle Rare when it was, $30 a bottle. Now it's like $60, $70 a bottle. It's not really, it used to be like the house bourbon I would use. It's still a great find. I think it's delicious, but it got a little pricey. So they've moved all of their prices up. Even Buffalo Trace now is probably like $40 a bottle, right?
Yeah.
And it used to be like $25. So they've moved all their prices in that direction, which I find interesting. Buffalo Trace has a ton of juice. I think they actually have the most out of anybody. So it'd be interesting to see what happens with some of these big guys. But that's what I've heard is the reason that Jim Beam is like stalling their production.
Buffalo Trace has a lot of branding too. I was talking to someone about this, where they've got like a barbecue sauce. They've got a partnership with the Squatch soap. So you can do that. I bought a beard balm just to keep my snaggy old hairs together. The only one they had was a Buffalo Trace one. So it's like a weird oak musky scent, which is cool. But
again, I think that comes back to they have so much juice out there that they can do all of this stuff and not really affect their rick houses.
Now, I follow this guy on Instagram. I'm sure you guys do too. His name's Bourbon Berry.
I think you have told me about him. Yeah.
So he posted a reel not too long ago. It's funny, this is coming up in conversation, almost is like a consumer warning, where some of these larger companies are making these lines of spirits that are posed as, small batch, where, okay, what's their small batch?
It's the cool
400 barrels, right?
It's trendy.
They're guising it as hand selected. Well, okay, if I put my hand on this barrel and say, I want that one, okay, it's hand selected. So it was an interesting, warning to everyone about kind of seeing through the facade of the bigger guys at play. Yeah. And I think you're definitely on, and your sources are right, dude. I mean, we see this with craft beer too, where some of those larger beer sales are down because the local guys
are going to the local
and
stuff,
that's I think that's a win for all the little guys that you're able to have that support locally.
It's good for us right now.
Yeah.
Speaking of beer, did you see that they took down the iconic Anheuser-Busch sign? It was a little sad to see that come down.
Yeah. I mean,
because as a kid, I remember driving past it, all the time and seeing it. And it's sad to see that come down.
I always wanted to go in there and just be like, oh, will they let me drink from the tank? But I've
heard stories about that. Like about they used to have taste testers in there that's all they did was try the beer.
Why can't I get that job?
Yeah.
But even, the one thing that I really appreciate.
You do have that job. You're creating that job for yourself right now.
You're right. I am.
What are we doing?
Oh, that's my excuse now. I'm doing R&D on a Tuesday at 11:30 in the morning. Just kidding. The one thing that I really loved about that plant is during COVID, they had paused some of their production with alcohol, and they made like
sanitizer, right? Hand
sanitizer. They also did boxed water. For people. They put out boxed water. That. So, that was really cool. But I think also, too, if you're thinking about iconic spots in Jersey,
it was one of them.
If you're flying into Newark or you're flying out of Newark,
or just driving down 109,
you see that sign, and you just know, we're in the promised land. Here we are. Like that belongs in the Sopranos open.
Yeah, it's a landmark that you pass it and you're like, all right, I'm almost to where I'm going. Like you're looking for that and it's just gone. It's that kind of change is very weird.
Yeah, it's sad. But, I'm sure there will be bigger and better things here in our beautiful Garden State. Yeah. Mike, getting back to you, we know you're a bourbon guy. What's your favorite bourbon? And you can't say Three Brooks. By the way, threebrooksbourbon.com.
So besides Three Brooks, is what you're saying. I like Knob Creek. That's been my go-to for a long time. Just nice and light and mild. But I'll also go with
describes it like a cigar.
You really do like knobs, huh?
Mild.
Basil Hayden's another one.
Good one.
I like that.
Basil Hayden's a great one.
Those are two good ones. The Toast, I think is excellent. I think it's a really good bourbon.
Toast is one of my top. When people say I don't really drink bourbon, I say try Basil Hayden Toast. It's really
Chuck turned me on to that one.
Excellent.
Do you have a favorite cocktail? I know that you like to go out to a few places, which is cool. But if you're going to go sit down and have a drink that's not bourbon neat, what are you exploring? What are you
Fuzzy navel?
I just shaved. Sorry.
Slippery nipple. Those. Just shaved.
This is us, guys. Sorry. This is an accurate depiction of our friendship here.
So one thing I like to do, and we did this a couple of times, is when I go to a place, I know if the bartender's good or not based on how well they make their old fashioned.
Yeah.
And I know you're going to say that's the most basic drink you can get with your bourbon.
It's a basic drink that you can make 100 different ways.
Listen, I had one at a local establishment here that I'm not going to name out of respect for their entrepreneurship and opportunity. I got an old fashioned last weekend and I said to the bartender, hey, like you put way too much ice in here.
I'm interested to hear where that is.
I'll tell you when we're done recording.
Off camera.
Mike, I agree. It seems like such a basic thing, but if it is such a basic thing, you should be able to make it the right way.
100%.
So I'm with you 100%.
Yeah, and you and I remember the night we were there with the one particular bartender, and she was smoking them for us.
Yes, I always talk about her.
Those were fantastic.
Yeah, I love smoked old. Actually, I love smoked old fashioned. If they're done right, they are very good. I have a smoker kit here.
A place, the new place in Point Pleasant. I don't know if we want to throw.
Yeah, go ahead, throw them out there.
Yeah, they took us. Let's do it.
The Bourbon Lounge at the Trade Winds. And my buddy Joe works there. And when we go, I've sat at the bar with him a few times. A couple friends have joined me there. Winnie's joined me there. He makes a great smoked old fashioned, but they have some oddball ones like with a toasted marshmallow on top.
Sweet.
And so he's got they have some good options on the menu. It's a nice laid back. We've got to go down there one day. It's a good spot. They do carry Three Brooks bourbon, of course.
Mm-hmm.
But
makes them a better spot.
Even better spot. But they definitely do some good smoked old fashions.
Now, Mike, in our local area, I mean, and again, with our business, Mike, you were one of the guys that had kind of spearheaded our sales. You got some pretty key accounts for us. If you're going to sit down somewhere to have a drink locally, which, we'll say Jackson, Howell, Freehold, where are you going? Where can we find you?
CG's.
CG's right here in Jackson. Yeah,
it's right around the corner. It's like a few weeks back, we would go for Thursday night football. I'd go over there with Rick, and I walked in and I looked at the bar, and Anthony just handed me my neat bourbon.
That's nice.
And I was like, "That's wow."
Yeah, shout out to CG's. They're great to us.
Yeah, they
almost
are.
to the point where they yelled out Norm when I walked in.
And it's just it's still got that local vibe in there.
Yeah.
You feel like you're walking into that local bar. Whenever I walk in there, they come over, shake my hand. What's going on?
Yeah.
I love that.
And you know what? The thing that I think is the testament to them is that it's not just us. They do that with everyone.
Oh yeah,
I see them say
that's
hello
how they
to
get
so many
everybody
people.
keep coming back. It's
I think one of the things that's remarkable about them is not only that friendly atmosphere. I mean, their kitchen, we could spend a whole other podcast talking about what they're doing back there. But the fact that Justin, the owner, is always so willing to just do something different.
Yeah.
Right. He's an open book. He's never set in stone. I know we've come to him with some ideas or things that we wanted to do to support each other, and he's always been so open. So, this again is just another testament to a little bit of the theme that's coming on in our conversation is just supporting local
100%.
and building partnerships. And
100%.
I think that we don't, and I know I'll speak for myself here, but I feel like a lot of the times I don't know that I'm doing that part until I'm like, oh wow, we're doing this the whole time, which I think says a lot about our business with people that we've spoken to.
Yeah.
Mike, one last question before we move on to some of your other business ventures. What is the first drink you're going to enjoy in our distillery when it's open?
Wow.
And I haven't shared with you, I've kind of compiled a small list of I've been secretly building a menu behind your guys' back just so that we have something when it's go time.
Yeah, why not? Why not?
But so you don't know the cocktail list, but giving all of the things that you do know about the industry and establishments you've been to, what would be the first thing you'd want to try?
Well, so not knowing the fancy schmancy drinks that I'm going to have to
So
try
fancy.
once you create them.
So fancy.
I'm going to go back to what I said a few minutes ago. I'm going to test our bartenders' skills, and I'm going to have them make me a Three Brooks Old Fashioned.
There you go.
Yeah.
Heard it here first. If you have anything else, I'm blasting you. I am blasting
I've got
you.
some ideas on how to
fuzzy
twist them.
it's an old fashioned.
I'll have the Cav Mojito, please. By the way, Mike has very nice legs. He's always had compliments on them. That's why we keep saying it.
The space between me, Shannon, and Mike right now is his calves are bumping us to the sides.
I can feel your heartbeat. Before we start to wrap this show up, which again is another nice lengthy one. That's what she said. Mike, what are some of the other business ventures that you're involved in, man? What else do you like to do? I mean, I know you're here. You are heavily involved in some of the sports community, or at least you were. You've had kids come through the school system here. I met you before we even started any of this stuff. But, what are some of the other things that you have going on in your world right now?
Yeah. Just before I even answer that, the first time I knew anything about Shannon, my daughter Maggie was she was at home and she was listening to a book on tape. And we'll just say that I thought it was a professional book on tape, and I asked her about it, and it was actually you reading. It was
me recording, yeah.
And I was like, that guy should be on radio.
I've been trying to get into the audiobook game, but it's not as lucrative as the time demands.
Yeah. So what I should have said is that guy should have his own podcast.
And here we are.
And look, it's come to fruition right now. But yeah, aside from being involved with all the youth sports, and my kids are now older where they're no longer playing youth sports. I mean, that's how we connected. Alex and Maggie were good friends in second grade. I mean, they're still friends now. They've gone down different paths and involved in different things. But when they met, that's how I met Chuck, and we've been friends ever since. And we were actually during COVID on a vacation and had some food because we couldn't go out to eat. And that food was a seafood boil.
Mm-hmm.
And it was delicious and it was fun to do. And we kind of had the idea to bring it back to New Jersey, because why wasn't there anything like that around us? Like during COVID, how come it's pizza Chinese, the next night Chinese, the next night pizza? There was nothing.
Right.
So why don't we do this? And we had the idea of a takeout seafood boil place, and it's evolved over time to being more of a catering business. And we'll still put the pots together for people, but we opened the Boiling Point in 21.
Yep.
And it's still going strong now in heading into the summer of 26.
So you had a storefront. I was involved in your
Yes.
venture for a little bit, and only a stone's throw away should you ever need some extra hands.
I'll always ask.
And you guys opened up that store.
Mm-hmm.
I remember being there for that grand opening. We had the tent set up. That was maybe one of my first times cooking at a larger scale.
Mm-hmm.
And full disclosure, I'm not a seafood fan. I do not eat seafood, nor do I cook seafood. So I had to kind of learn this on the fly. But, with Chuck's confidence level being, you just cook it. You can't mess it up. That really gave me the confidence to just cook it.
I tend to simplify things.
Yeah. Now, we had the storefront, and we were in Point Pleasant.
Yep.
And when did that storefront close? How long were we there for?
We were there
3 years.
Yeah.
Okay.
September 24, sound right?
It was like September, October. Yeah.
Yeah, September, October 24, we decided to close it.
And having 3 years in, I mean, you got through year one.
Mm-hmm.
Right? That's big. And I know, Chuck, you've mentioned it takes how many years for a business or a brand to truly catch on?
Yeah. So some of the business coaches that I listen to and stuff like that say that if you can get through your 5th year, you're pretty solid. You're irregardless. It's like time in the business will just grow the business anyway, irregardless.
Yeah.
I think with the Boiling Point, it was kind of finding what works, that location, that store wasn't necessarily, and the problem is anybody that knows the Jersey Shore is once you get past like September, October, it's a ghost town usually for the next 6-7 months. So I think 6-7. That doesn't look good.
I think it looks great.
So
7.
I think it was
and other things.
I think it was figuring out like how can we change this and make it, more profitable, better business. That's not to say that we would never have another store again. It would just I think what we've learned from that store is there's some things we would need to change. But right now it's successful being the way it is, frankly.
What were some of those limitations? Because I know our catering side had always kind of made up for what the storefront side was.
Yeah,
and,
the catering side always killed it, which is why we kept the catering going.
Working those events, finding events like festivals to work at. Yeah. We did Freehold Day a couple times.
Frankly, the backyard catering events are by far the best ones.
And for us, they're the most fun ones. They always were the more
working
fun
with the
things
families
to do.
are always great. It's a good time.
What were some of the limitations that storefront posed to you?
I think location was a big one.
Big time.
I think not having a kitchen in the location, so we weren't able to actually cook hot food. So we would get people coming in on 14 people walk in on a Friday night, and they're like, "Oh, can we get a table for 14?" Sure, I'll set up the folding table for you right now.
Let me clean this stainless steel,
and I'll give you a bag of chips to share for the next 2 hours.
So many calls for reservations too.
Reservation calls were through the roof. Like we couldn't even it was you almost felt bad at a point. Like, oh, I'm sorry, but we don't do that.
Yeah.
So it held together, but it certainly with a kitchen would have been a different business.
Yeah, I think potentially down the road, if we were to go that route, and we might want to have a small kitchen. We can't have a big scale place, just not and run a distillery at the same time.
Maybe something that's either a grab and go, or if you're going to do a seafood boil, maybe it's a couple tables that have 4 to 6.
Yes, I would love to have a market kind of place where you have your crab cakes that you made that day, and people can come in and grab them and go heat them up at home and stuff like that. Along with some of the other creative things that we've come up with that we just have to make in advance. So if somebody orders it, we can make it, but we're not going to have it because they're not going to move as much as the seafood boils.
I mean, frankly, if we had a bakery attached to it, we would probably kill it with
Gina,
a bakery.
We got to shout out Gina real quick. I mean, the stuff that Gina does with baking and creating things and even just the visual component to attach onto occasions or holidays is second to none. Gina, if you're listening, you are a champion.
And she's got something cool that she's working on potentially right now. So if that happens, we'll talk about it in the next podcast.
Cool. So your adaptability with the boiling point, I thought was really big. And I think when we were in the war room strategizing things for boiling point, I think that's where I saw okay, if we pop into this distillery thing, we've already got kind of half of the group is here, and John's involved in the boiling point too. The one thing that I love that you guys put together for the boiling point as a non-seafood eater is the Feast of the Seven Fishes. I thought that was something that was so innovative and easy for you to do, but it is accommodating many of your customers, but it's also providing other options and driving sales. So Feast of the Seven Fishes, I don't really know too much about the background of it. I know this is a big Italian thing.
It is,
right?
Yeah. So
and what
Christmas Eve, big Italian thing. You feast, Feast of the Seven Fishes. You have 7 fishes on the table. It's good luck for the holidays or whatever. And I remember it being such a labor intensive thing.
Right. I've been to one holiday party where they had that, and I'm like, what is going on in here? There's 8 people in the kitchen. Everyone's doing something.
So in my family, my mom would make it, and it would just be so much work to fry all this fish, do all this stuff. And we're like, well, is there a way we could do this where it's going to take you 20 minutes and you're done? And, then you have the Feast of the Seven. You have all this, you have 7 fishes out there. And if you want to do more, do something else. But it right off the bat was a pretty hot seller. Worked pretty well.
Yeah. The feedback that I get from a lot of people is, for the price and the amount of time that they are saving in just boiling it up. And I've actually had other people who buy the pot and then they take some of it out and cook it a little differently. They don't boil everything in there. They might cook it up something they like, a favorite recipe with the scallops or something like that. So be it. It's up to you what you do with it once you get the pot. But some people just straight up boil it up. They've got the 7 fishes. They pour it out into the bowl. Everybody's meeting that need of my family tradition. We do the 7 fishes on Christmas Eve, and I'm still doing it. And I now have time to do it. And so I love the feedback. Again, I said that before, that feedback and knowing that the people are loving the 7 fishes, it's fantastic.
Well, yeah. And I think even with that boiling point plan, there would be times where we'd have catering gigs or we'd have events, and just being able to provide an experience for someone and make sure that that customer is happy. While, I mean, the three of us, we like to create, we like to cook, we like to do things that make people happy. So it's mutually beneficial for, you know, both the cook and the customer in that sense. Now, Mike, with the boiling point now, you know, it's January, getting into February. I don't know how many people are truly out there doing their seafood thing. When you think of seafood boils, it's typically like a spring, summertime, and fall kind of deal. What is the boiling point up to now? If I'm a listener hearing about this for the first time, can I order? What's going on?
As a matter of fact, Richie is going out Saturday and he's catering at somebody's house. So I'm waiting for the weather report to see if he's going to cook outside, or if we're going to put it in pots and he's got to go inside.
Okay, so you do have catering where you'll use their kitchen instead of outside.
Yeah, we don't promote it as much. I don't expect as much business at this time of year, but people do reach out and say, we have an occasion. It's in January. Is that okay?
Yeah.
And I say, you know, let's talk about it. We hop on the phone. We piece it together. We see if it's right for them and if it's right for us. You know, but we'll make it work the best we can. And here we are, late January. Richie's going to have to bundle up a little bit and be outside, you know, and just cook it up.
So where can we find more information on the boiling point?
You may go to the-boilingpoint.com and you can check out our website. Please remember the dash. That is the bane of my existence. When people go to Zelle money over to us as well, there's a dash in there, and most people forget the dash, and it goes into no man's land and gets returned to them. But yeah, the-boilingpoint.com.
Very cool. So check it out. You can also check them out on Facebook, The Boiling Point.
Instagram.
And listen, if you are looking for a catering gig, hit them up. These guys do a really good job. And who knows, they might even bring a special treat for you to enjoy with your friends. I know we've been known to do that here and there.
We certainly have.
Some liquid happiness. Before we wrap this up, we have anything else going on? Anything we need to tackle?
So I think one thing I want to talk about is make sure, if you really are enjoying the podcast, please, first of all, we appreciate that.
Yeah.
And second of all, please like and subscribe, either
Share
YouTube. Yeah, share it, or like and subscribe on YouTube or on Spotify. Melody's husband actually started following us this week.
Nice.
So Dave Appel, thank you very much
Right
for
on,
that.
dude.
Thanks, Dave.
Have you ever met Dave before? You guys met him?
I've met Dave.
I don't think so. I don't think we did.
I've known Dave.
didn't.
I've known Dave since I've known both of them since high school.
One of the first polar bear plunges I did when we came back here.
Yeah,
I met
Dave did like
and
one
I
of
was
the
talking
first
to him.
ones. Dave, let's go. Polar bear plunge this year. Come on. Dave, you would really get along with Dave. Dave is very into making his own coffee. Like, he roasts his own beans.
I remember you were mentioning
He's got
that.
like this really cool setup. It's phenomenal. He just
we're going to be in touch because we might have some business
we have
opportunities here
for sure.
Yeah.
So
Very
that's
cool.
definitely a discussion we need to have with him. But Dave, thank you for doing that.
Yeah.
Anybody else, please do the same. We definitely appreciate it. It helps us, kind of get into more social media stuff. So,
and if you've yet to try what we have out on the market now, we've got our Three Brooks Bourbon. You can check that out at threebrooksbourbon.com. And we've got our Get Ready with Tea. It's our 5% ABV vodka tea with real sugar. We've got the Ready Raspberry Lime. That's my favorite. The Let's Go Lemon, which is the OG, and Chuck's favorite, the Pregame Peach. You can check that out at getreadywithtea.com. Check out our store locator. And if you're looking for it and it's not near you, go into your local store, bar, or restaurant, ask for it, and get in touch with us. We'd love to make it happen. As always, we are the Jersey Shore Spirits Podcast. Mike, thanks for joining us, man. It was a good conversation.
Absolutely.
We're going to have you back again. Chuck, I love you.
I love you too, man.
Love being here, guys.
Let's go. We'll catch you next time.
See you guys next time.
All right.